Jerry with Artistic Aerosol. How are you doing today?
Very good, very good.
Good. Tell me about what you have on display here.
A little bit of everything. I spray on tiles, canvases, and wood.
Aerosol, spray paint. What was the inspiration behind that? Have you always been a spray paint artist? Were you the guy that was seen on the train tracks doing the graffiti on the side of the trailers, or where did that come from?
You cannot prove any of this. So maybe. I started probably when I was a kid, about 84, 85, skateboarder, maybe tagging a few things here and there.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Was this a hobby that you just turned so much into a passion that you made your own business and you now go to conventions?
Kind of, yeah. It started with my mom going to a jewelry party and coming home with a pair of earrings and going, hey, I bet you could make these. And it's kind of been downhill from there for the last 10 years, so.
Has it really been downhill though?
No, it's just snowballed.
Now, in all honesty, have you done this?
I have. I've not gotten out of it yet. I'm really bad at it.
Oh, at least I'm not the only one.
Of course. Not many people get out of it, but when we do get people out of it, it's really fun to just watch and laugh at them. We just laugh at you all the time.
Oh yeah, I was looking around. There were quite a few people that are out here laughing at me. So yeah, it was a great time. It was something that your adrenaline will get raised. So if you do not like coffee, if you need something to raise your adrenaline, do something like this. You have some awesome work here. Can you please explain your latest work that you just came out with?
The latest book that I came out with is 12 Devils Dancing. The artist on this is actually a local, Dave Acosta. He's not here today, but the trade paperback just came out this past January, so we have this at table E17, so come and pick it up. If you like horror and you like crime stories and thrillers and things like that, this is a good one.
As a writer, what is your staple? What stands out? What is your most, your most celebrated piece of work that you've ever helped produce?
Well, I would say the thing that I'm most known for was I worked on Charmed for Dynamite. I also was one of the writers that Gail Simone picked to work on Swords of Sorrow. So that was pretty good. But the story that people mostly know me for is probably M3, which was the first book that I came out with a creator, Vicente Alcazar, who's a Spanish artist, and he's best known for working on Moon Knight and Jonah Hex. So it was great to have someone with that much cachet to pick up a relatively unknown writer and to work with. And we did 12 issues of that, and that was a really great experience.
I love hanging out with you. It's such a great, fantastic thing. Now, where can they go and find all your products?
Oh my gosh, Steve. Everybody knows you can find everything at camcomics.com, for real. You can buy all my books there and all my music. I'll send them right out to you, and I'll autograph them for you as well. All right?
Cam, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for the time for your interview. Again, this is Steve with the EGS Productions. We'll catch you guys on for the next one.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in the Poor Man's Art Collective?
Well, Gino and I had a show together, and I think it was about 2007, 2006 at the Bagley Housing Gallery. I think that was a gallery in Mexican Town, maybe. And we just kind of hit it off. And he started talking about the collective, and we wound up doing the show together maybe a year later. And we just been rolling.
So you had chemistry right from
Yeah,
the start.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the piece you brought today.
This piece is called Goddess. I recently discovered that all my figures are dancers. So this figure here is I see it as a dancing lady in a flowing gown. She's jumping towards the sky. This figure here is following her, and this is a smaller childlike dancer. He's following these two, and her gown is flowing in the background with the color. So
Great.
I recently, as I think more about my art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get involved in the Poor Man's Art Collective?
I was attending a show for Bruce Leto and Jack Kenny at the Liberal Arts Gallery, and it just kind of happened magically where this conversation started between Dwayne and Gino and I showed them some photographs of my work, and they invited me to be a part of the show.
Oh, that's great. So how long have you been involved?
A little more than a year now. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So what inspires this work?
What inspires this work is really just our achievement of oneness, our achievement or an understanding of what goes on in our life, but then at the same time it could be totally absent in the moment that we think we understand what our life experiences are.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. So how did you get involved in the Poor Man's Art Collective?
I researched, I was on Facebook and saw Gino on Facebook.
Nice.
And I noticed that he did some incredible art, and I wanted to join him.
That's great.
So I got in touch with him maybe in 2010, and from then I became in his first show, 2011, which was Welcome to the Color Section.
Oh, wow. Cool. So tell us a little bit about your piece that you brought today.
Well, this piece here is, I named it Jazz Masters, and it's with all of my favorite jazz artists on it. Thelonious Monk, Bird, Miles, Coltrane, Charles Mingus, and Dizzy Gillespie.
Great. So tell us a little bit about what inspires your work and
The music, actually.
the music.
Yes, the music is very, very free flowing. You know,
That's great.
as my art is.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your inspiration for this piece.
Well, my artwork, what inspires me about my artwork is a lot of my life experiences. I had gone through a lot physically, and I needed an outlet to express myself. And you know, I gravitated towards the more bright colors to kind of offset a lot of the things that I was going through in my life, and this is the end result.
So tell us a little bit about the form of the...
Well, actually, the name of this piece is called Pathways, and it really expresses a lot of the different things that were going on in my life. And in a lot of my pieces, you'll see the circular, which is representative of me and everything that is coming into my life and leaving out of my life.
So what material is this?
This is two different types of paper. It is a Japanese tissue paper called Unryu and a paper called Lacta. And that is what I use in my artwork.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the art piece you brought today.
Well, the piece I brought with me today is called Haunted, and it's kind of a representation of artists in the past and just different mediums and different techniques that I use to express how I feel about the art at that moment.
So what inspires your work?
Honestly, a lot has to do with music. Music and the artists that are in the collective. I get inspired a lot by them, by seeing their work, so a lot of it has to do with them and the music that I'm listening to at that time.
So describe your artistic process a little bit.
My artistic process, it varies. Like the first thing I usually do is pick the colors and the music, and then whatever comes out on the canvas, it usually surprises me as well, which is why I do abstract art, because it's just so expressive, and it represents the mood and the moment at the time.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to all of today's artists. You're watching Metro Arts on Detroit Public Television.
We're in hour number 5 of our third day of recording. Things are going well. We're setting up to do Come Back to Me. Kelly and Alita are in there working it out. I'm about to go lay scratch vocals.
And so in a way we were kind of always aiming for an album, ultimately. That was something that we've always talked about, Chelsea and I, about wanting that to be, if nothing else, if we do nothing else, we will have our album at some point, come hell or high water. And I think that's what motivated us along the way, is that we knew we both had this shared goal and we both felt just as strongly about it, and we were going to do absolutely anything to make it happen. And so every single start and stop like that just sort of fueled that fire, I think, and fanned the flame, if you will.
Look at what we did. And I think that, you know, going into the studio that first day was like, oh my God, this is happening. This is totally happening right now. And we did it. And working through each of the songs, I felt like it was just, you know, it was a process, and it was really something that I feel like built up to where at the end of the experience, it was just like, you know, like we finally did it. We did it. We made it happen, and something that we were so proud of. You know, we had so many experiences where we wanted to do something and we went for it and we did it, and it didn't turn out the way that we wanted, you know? And finally we had this expectation to do this album exactly the way that we wanted. Everything was in place. We had somebody, you know, incredible doing our album artwork, the placement of the tracks, the writing of the album, the narrowing down of the songs. Like, it all just really came together, and I think that we will both always look back on the making of this album as something really incredibly special, with a lot of really awesome people along the way.
Jennifer. Wendy. You didn't tell me Wendy worked here.
I thought I'd keep it a surprise.
Win, you look so good. Win, you have to come hang out with us sometime. We have to catch up. You look so good. Doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Jen. I'm always working, you know? Gotta pay the bills.
No, you have to come by tonight. Do you have any plans later?
No. Nope, sure don't.
You gonna order yet? I'm fucking hungry.
I think I'll do the Western omelet and pancakes with white bread and coffee too.
Damn, bitch. Hold up. Trying to break my bank? Did you enjoy that gift I gave you?
I wouldn't know.
You will. I know you.
What gift?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Keep the change.
You gotta come by tonight. I wanna hang out so bad.
What the fuck are you doing? Come on.
I hope I'll see you later.